What's going on, Aces? Welcome back to the channel. I hope that all of you are having an amazing Sunday. It's a beautiful, crisp, cool fall autumn day here. And again, I hope that all of you are enjoying your day. So, Brian McKnight has decided to legally change his name to officially disown his older children in order to match his newborn child. This man is quite possibly the antithesis of the love songs that he has serenaded us with so much so in the 90s, right? He's completely opposite of what I thought he was as a young girl growing up and listening to his music. But let me read you his own words in regards to changing his name. So he says, I'm so proud to introduce our son, Brian McKnight Jr., to the world with the release of my new album, lovingly created for him. Jr., because I am also proud to officially announce that I've legally changed my name to exactly match my legacies. My legal name is now Brian McKnight Sr. McKnight Times Lullabies, the songs of a father to his namesake, available now, and all the respective hashtags that I'm not going to read. But I will let you guys see the baby because, again, children are completely innocent, right? They're not, they didn't ask to be brought into this world. And the baby is gorgeous. He's a innocent bystander of um, Brian McKnight just being messy and essentially disowning his older children. So I will read you the perspective from his original son, who is Brian McKnight Jr., who by the way has a son himself, right? Which is Brian McKnight III, because people were telling him online to change his name because his father is messy and he is obviously going through a identity crisis, or whatever built up self hatred that he has, where he is essentially disowning his own older children from previous relationships. It's really sad because he is so accepting of his new wife, Lilani, and her two children, or well, two children from previous relationships and their third child, the newborn, together. But for him to be so accepting of these other children, but yet so harsh toward his own biological children, that just shows you the character of who he is as a man. Like, I'll never buy any Brian McKnight merchandise or music going forward, but that's just my opinion. Let me read you guys what his original Brian McKnight Jr. son has to say. So, singer and estranged father Brian McKnight dropped a new album introducing his son, Brian McKnight Jr., to the world. Brian also revealed that he decided to legally change his name to Brian McKnight Sr. to exactly match his legacies. Now, his first son, also named Brian McKnight Jr., responds to a commenter and explains why he would never change his name. He wrote, I'm not ashamed of the name that my ancestors had. I'll never change the name of my own that my own son has now. We're witnessing an obscene level of self-hate that has reached mental illness status at this point. All we can do is pray for the man, my new little brother, who we will all welcome with open arms one day once he realizes who his real family is. Legacy isn't in the name, it's in the character of the people. And it will all be quite clear soon just who is on the right side of this, because there's no escaping what is coming. And you know what? That is so true, right? Like, he, went to court with his daughter, Brianna. The fact that he's naming all his children um, with the variation of his name, Brian Jr., Brian Kanoa, and all these other that is a sure sign of narcissism, in my opinion, which is, again, not healthy. You can see how he's treated his older children in the past. But every single time that I've seen this play out in various families. And this is not, a new thing. I mean, we've witnessed this pattern in multiple families in the past, and I don't want to single anyone out. But what I will say is that when, men tend to have families in their younger years, and this doesn't just apply to Brian, it applies to, a lot of families overall, regardless of demographic or socioeconomic status. Um, but when families are, created in younger years, and the parents may be, ill-equipped or just feeling overwhelmed, they tend to want to discard their children, or they want to, run away from the situation, escape, et cetera, et cetera. And then they'll come back with new spouses or, children later in life when they are more established, when they are more mature, when they are, et cetera. And they want to kind of, victim blame it and place the blame on their older children. And it's like, no, these children did nothing except be born to you during a time frame in your life where you are not equipped to be the parent, the father, the caregiver that they needed in that time. That's no fault of the child. I mean, you can try to place that blame upon them, but as your fans and the general public, sees, it's falling flat and it's falling short, and it's unfortunate because I feel like this country is so, in the Western world and in general, they try to humanize only one, certain demographic of people. And granted, his wife is Filipino, but even in the Philippines, they only tend to, gear toward, whitewash narratives and a certain demographic. So anti-Blackness is global, and if you internalize that, it is going to be to your own detriment if you are a Black man or Black, woman, Black person, etc. I feel like, I wish that there were more avenues and, places where people could learn to love themselves and love their children and love their skin. The only place I've experienced that personally is in the Caribbean, which is why I'm trying to, head back there permanently. But Brian McKnight, like his son said, like the original Brian McKnight Jr. said, we are witnessing the manifestation of self-hate and mental illness and in its entirety. And I feel like, his wife, her silence in this arena, her not speaking up, for his original children is problematic because he is, loving and doting on her, children from a previous relationship, which, he's not their biological father. He's bought, her daughter cars, and, he's saying, how he's so proud of his son, but he did not father these children biologically, right? Even if he's the stepfather. But him, going to court and litigation over child support with, his biological daughter, and, just kind of going back and forth in social media and just damaging the relationship that he has with his biological children who are older is really sad. It's really heartbreaking. It's problematic. And it not only damages, his brand, which I don't know if he recognizes that or not, because most of his fan base is Black, but it makes me look at the wife sideways. Like, you should have had a conversation with Brian in regards to how he's treating his older children or his, children from a previous relationship. But also it makes me look at Brian as someone who is just full of self-hatred and malice toward his children and the children who look like him, because those are, that's your seed. sir. Like, that's, your biological children. And for you not to love them, that is a direct reflection on who you are, as a man. That's your character. You can try to dote and love on all these, um, children who look nothing like you. But at the end of the day, they're, like your original, Brian McKnight Jr. said, he's not going to change his name. He has a son that's a Brian McKnight III, and he's going to love on him, and he wishes his father well, but he feels like, if his father is going through an episode of mental illness and self-hatred, it's unfortunate, but it seems to, run rampant, especially in that generation, the boomers, Gen X um, generation that Brian McKnight is a part of. They were brainwashed into believing that, anyone who looks like them is not worthy of love or devotion, and it's unfortunate. So, um, with that being said, those are my thoughts. I want to hear from you. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I hope that, his Brian McKnight's children find the love and healing that they, you know, that everyone should have as human beings. And Brian will eventually reap what he sows. I believe the law of sowing and reaping is as strong as the law of gravity. And so, um, yeah, he has a lot coming his way. He just may not know it yet. But you guys drop down in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Please be sure to like the video. It's a free way to support the channel. Subscribe, share if you haven't done so already. It would do me a huge favor. And I will talk with you later. Take care, aces. Bye.